wally, oochie bang bang, oochie wally wally. What's going on? What's going on? What is going on, man? Nieces and nephews, kinfolks and cousins. They're like, where's he at? Here he is. Here he is. Here he is. Here he is. All right. Got a question. This is really something that men really are trying to get their heads around, ladies, and in particular, black women. Why? There was a school, men thought that one of the reasons that there's such a disconnect between women and men today is because women just didn't have the information. Women just didn't, they didn't know. They simply didn't know. They didn't know, and the thought was that because if you're supposed to be so educated and everything else like this, if you just give women the right information, that they can verify themselves, that'll fix the situation. No. No. Why is it easier for women today in general, black women in particular, to believe a lie? Let's talk about the big lie, that the reason black women in their prime years aren't married is because there are not enough suitable black men. They're in jail, down low, such and so forth. That lie has been around since I was in my 20s, and it has been disproven thousands and thousands and thousands of times. Yet, every day, I'll run into a woman that'll tell me the same thing. You're not single because there are not enough men. You're not unmarried because you are the most educated. You are the most enrolled. But who has the most degrees? White women have 15 percentage points more degrees than black women. So even the group of women with the most college degrees is not black women. It's white women. White men have more college degrees than everybody. Black women are more enrolled today than men are, but that's women of every race. So saying that you can't find enough men on the college campus and the golden penis thing is another lie. You're not the most educated, you're the most enrolled. And the notion that education equates to success in relationships. It does not. Education does not even equate to success in the real world. Because with all the education, it's not showing up where it matters in the paycheck. Women earn less than men, not because of education, because women choose different jobs. Women choose jobs about how they feel. Men choose jobs about things, and it makes more money. Women could choose these things, but they choose not to. So you're not married because there are not enough men. You're not more educated. You're not making more money. What's the real issue? I've said it before. Your mothers failed you in teaching you what relationships were. There is a huge gap between the women who were raised and taught how to be wives and work with men and what they've taught their daughters. There are married women that do this and single women that do this. And until you ladies start questioning your mothers and the other people and say, why did you not tell me how important it was for me to get into a long relationship and build with somebody in my prime years? Because what you've been told is go out and do what you want to do, have your 20s, and then when you're ready to slow down, find a husband. Doesn't work that way, ladies. We can convert Pookie and Ray Ray or Trailer Park Tim. Women can't do that. You can't go from being this to that. You just can't. You don't have the time. You know what? A lot of women get upset because you talk about men and this high value thing having options. You know what men are searching for more than anything else today in the West? They're searching for feminine women, femininity. And when men find a woman that's feminine, they stop. Stop. Because that's enough. One feminine woman is enough for most men. But the bottom line is today with your education, the ones of you that have it, 50% of women in our community earn less than, 74% of women in our community earn less than $50,000. So you can be as educated as you want to. If it ain't making paper, it don't make no difference. 9% of women earn more than $74,000 a year. Look it up. Statistics, blackdemographics.com, Labor Department, the census. You cannot tell, and a lot of stuff that you guys believe is propaganda. You look at the numbers, and the bottom line is this: unless you are a woman earning in the top 10% of earners, you don't even make enough money to be single. You don't make enough money to be single, but you weren't raised and taught how to work with a man. And whose fault is that? Most women will tell you it's your daddy's fault because he wasn't there. It's your mama's fault because she couldn't keep him around. Why is it easier to believe the lie? Because women today want to believe the reason they're unsuccessful in their personal lives is because men's fault. And it is not. It is not. And the women who sit around and talk about how much money they make, they aren't happy either. They're just trying to get off and say, well, this is a better substitute. This is why when women always turn to women like, well, look at Halle Berry and this and that. Look, the women who are happiest are women who are actually working with the man and building a life. You hear a lot of shit on Instagram, this boss bitch and bad chick and diva energy. But you know what? You want to see what really happens? Watch what happens when one of these boss chicks or bad bitches, when one of their homegirls gets engaged, then the truth comes out. And this is where men need to understand it, but you don't need to correct for it. Unfortunately, just like men were forced to grow up sooner in this son-husband role, women in general, black women in particular, did not have a chance to be a little girl. They did not have a chance to be a little girl. They did not have a chance to be a princess. This is why so many folks seem to be trying to get what they didn't get in childhood in their adolescence. But it's not our fault as men. It's not our fault. And the bottom line is this, just like when I was talking to the sister, when men become ready to take it to the next level, they're going to look left, they're going to look right, look high, look low. And they're going to get with the first woman that matches what they're trying to get done, and they're feminine. If that black man is looking around and they're not black women, you can't get mad because you have every opportunity to be what men are asking for. Are you choosing to do it in the time frame that matters? I was out last night at dinner, and I was just sitting there looking at a table of women eating dinner and enjoying themselves. And you know what I was fascinated with? That each one of the women sitting at this high-top bar could spit on the stool. I'm sitting here looking at women who are petite, typical female size. None of them drop dead gorgeous beauties, but I'm like, and I asked myself, when was the last time I saw 8 women sit at a high-top bar on bar stools, and she was on a bar stool and there was room on either side of her? That's not cap, that's not insulting, but that's just the reality. It's like, your mothers told you to do what you wanted to do. And now the information is out there. And my question to you ladies, if you want a different outcome, you're going to have to stop believing the lies you were taught. Because black men are doing just fine in this country. 54% are single and childless, 61% in the middle class, 2.5 million black men in the upper class. Black men are doing just fine. Black men over 30 are doing just fine. And this whole youth-obsessed culture that we have, to where it's driven a lot by, this to the industry, music, media, entertainment, such and so forth. But guess what? You got plenty of brothers over age 30 who are coming into their own between 30 and 40, deciding whether or not they want to go lion or tiger. And bottom line is, who do you expect these men to get with? And sadly, far too many women in their 30s are coming to these men in their 30s, and you're coming with, at best, too big. And we're not supposed to say anything about it. See, men's preferences become prejudices, but women's preferences get celebrated. We're going to talk about it. Just like when I'm about to shoot this video talking about ageism, a woman talking about she used to be a supermodel in her 50s, and now, look, you are not going to shame men, cancel men, or change the way men pick women. Men are just doing what's called the Bradley effect. They'll stop talking about it and they'll start doing it. In 1984, Tom Bradley, mayor of Los Angeles, was slated, thought he was going to be the governor. Everybody said, we're going to vote for Tom Bradley. When people went into the booth, they voted for another white man. Ladies, you must give men what they want. And I'm looking at that table of 8 women, and those 8 women weren't all married to cardiac surgeons. You saw women sitting at the table, and over half of them had rings on their finger. Could fit on the bar stool, smiling, happy. What are you going to do, ladies? Because the information is out there. And like I was telling the other sister, look, in particular to black women, if you don't want the black men that are there, Maria, Marisol, Jamila, Mylene, they'll be like, okay, cool, because it's not our fault that you want to believe these lies. And here's the last thing. If you can be shown that what you have been brought up to believe is not true, do you have the courage to change your mind? And so many women today, sadly, you care more about not offending your mother, not offending the other women, than doing what it takes for you to win. That's your choice. But do not expect men to have to settle and accept it. It takes time for a man to become a man. Men have to earn value. Women, you must maintain value. And men value the same things in women: femininity and mindset. You can be feminine, but is it femininity? A truly feminine woman is enough for one man. If you are always worried about your man cheating and this and that, he's not cheating for sex. He's likely cheating for femininity. Femininity. And that's the one thing in mass that's been taken, especially from Western women, women in the West, and in black women in particular. You've got an education, you've got an opportunity, but you've changed in your femininity. This is why you look around and it's not uncommon to see same height, male or female, and the woman inevitably weighs more than a man at her height. That very nature is not feminine. You know how many times I walk into a woman who's 5'9" and she weighs more than me? 5'4", 187 pounds, when a brother's 5'9" and 185. Unacceptable. You're going to have to stop believing the lie, accept the truth, and then do something about it like your life depended on it. Because ladies, like I said, unless you're making the kind of money to provide for yourself in your elder years, Let you know you're going to have your retirement and everything else, your life does depend on it. Act like you have a sense of urgency, then go ask your mom and them, why didn't you tell me this when I was growing up? Put the blame on your mom and them. Don't put the blame on your daddy, because most of y'all ain't even got your daddy's side of the story. And even after you get it, even after you forgive your father and blame your mother, you got to forgive them both, and you still got to get out here. You still got to get out here, because in the sexual marketplace, all is fair in love and war, and it is all out war. Do you have what you need to win the battle? Do you have what you need to win the war? Not? Peace out.